Hannah here, and welcome to today's mini Zentangle session. Today is week 6, day 6, and apologies for sounding like a smurf. The materials we're going to use today are a black micron pen or a black biro, a black pencil, a tortillon and blending stump, or an earbud if you don't have one. And today we're working on squares. So the white square measures 9 by 9 centimetres, and I've just mounted it on a black card. So if you would like to pause the video, go and get me your materials ready and settle comfortably, we can begin. To start with, I've measured out and drawn 1, 2, 3 squares, and each square is a centimetre or a centimetre and a half apart from each other. I drew this in pencil and then I've drawn over it in pen. And using the tangles that we've learnt this week, I'm going to decorate each side of the square. So I'm going to start off in the centre, and I'm going to draw the tangle that starts off in the bottom left hand corner, drawing the upside down U's. And I'm just going to carry on until I finish that section. Because it's so small, I can't fit that many in it. And then in the centre of each of those gaps, I'm just drawing a smaller U, and I'm colouring it in. And normally when I do a piece like this, I would do the shading as the last part, purely and simply as I don't want to smudge any of the pencil work with the side of my hand. So that's the tangle that we did on that day in the centre. I'm then going to pick another tangle to do around, I'm going to choose the next square in, and I'm going to start by drawing in pencil to split it down even further, and then just using my eye I'm going to subdivide it further, and turning I'm going to repeat that the other way. And those of you that feel comfortable, please feel free to start off by drawing this in pen. And I'm just going over in pen now. I'm hoping that my voice is loud enough to be able to be picked up for this video. And I'm just going to start by picking one of the squares, and I'm going to draw the straight lines going up. And if you remember, we drew all in one direction first, and then we turned the tile round and drew in a different direction. So this is the point that meets the next one, so I know that this one's also going to have the lines going in the same direction. So I can do all one row. And then I can turn it round, and I can finish going the other direction. And again, when you're drawing, you're going to do this much slower than I am. But the idea is to have the lines equal distance apart. Okay, so I've drawn all of the lines going that direction, and then I'm going to turn the tile and I'm going to repeat them going in the opposite direction. And I won't finish all of this now, but I will show you a completed picture of how I finished at the end of the video. I'll just finish this row and then I'm going to move on to the next part. So you get the rough idea of what it is that we're doing. Now, we don't normally use rulers in Zentangle, but in pencil I'm just going to carry on the line of that square. So I've got something that looks like this, and this means that I've now got 4 sections that I can tangle into. And I'm just going to go back to the tangles that we learnt this week, and I'm going to look and I'm going to see which ones I think would fit the best. And I think this one probably looks the easiest to do, in which case the best way to do this is probably to divide them down further so that we've got 3 sections in each of those to draw. And again, when you're doing this, you're going to take a little bit more time to make them perhaps a little bit straighter. You might decide that you want to put more in. So starting on this one here, oh, actually I should draw in pen. Clearly my brain isn't functioning as well as my throat is today. So I'm going to start by drawing a curved line, and then I'm going to repeat it going the opposite direction, and I'm just going to carry on going from left to right, and you'll notice that each time I do it I'm turning my tile so it's comfortable for me. And then once I finish that section, I'm going to draw that section, and the easiest way to do that is to turn it upside down, and using this line I'm just going to add that coloured triangle at the end. And again, left to right until I've fitted in as many as I think looks right. And I'm just going to carry on doing that around the outside. I would probably do that section and that section, but then in these 2 square bits at the end I'd probably do a different tangle, and I'll have a think about that while I'm moving through. In fact, I think I'm going to draw the one that we did the week before, and I'm just going to draw a big circle. So I'm going to start with the stalk. So 2 lines, and then put that little cap on it. And by building it up this way, it doesn't look anywhere near as intimidating as starting from scratch. Now around the outside there's a couple of ways to do this, and again for myself, to make it a little bit easier, I'm just using my pencil and finishing off those lines. So again I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I would do in this section is I'd probably do the zigzag tangle that we learnt early on. And finishing that off, I would do it in pen. Again, those of you that feel comfortable, start off in pen straight away. And just try and keep those zigzag triangles a similar distance. And then I'm going to draw another triangle inside each of those. And then at the end, just half. And I'm then going to colour that in full. And I won't colour all of them in now, but just to give you an idea. I'm then rotating it upside down. And I'm going to draw another triangle on the underside of each of those original shapes. And then I've turned it back upside down and I'm going to draw my squiggly lines. And again, I'll finish this off and I'll show you the finished result a little bit later. So to give you some examples of using squares, I've done some other ideas. So I've started off, and this is my original shape. And what I've done is, again, I've mounted the square onto black card and then I've put it onto just a standard grey card. And I've just worked through the tangles that we've learnt so far. And I've not worried about whether we've learnt them in the same week or what. I've just used the tangles that we've learnt since the beginning. And here's another one. This is very simple, but you'll see how effective it is. So just starting off with a very simple base. And I'll show you a couple more. So we've got a triangle in the centre of that. And when you look at that, it can look quite difficult. But actually, when you break it down into individual sections, it's not too bad. And here's another triangle. And with this one, I've actually used the gold Sakura pen, and I've just coloured in those in the centre of that one. And the final one I've got to show you, I decided to come away completely from the black, and I've done two, but both of them have been done with a blue micron pen. And again, when you look at both of them, they both look very complex, but once you break them down, they actually become quite simple. So I hope you've enjoyed today's session. I will add a picture of the completed tile that I've done shortly, and please join me for tomorrow's section, which, believe it or not, is week 7. Bye for now. So here's the finished tile that I did earlier. As you can see, I've done the same tangle all the way around the outside, and I've added lots of shading. But you see now how you can take something that looks very complex and break it down into bite-sized pieces that become far more manageable.